Welcome back to Sawyer's Farm. I'm Jacob. Today we're not on the farm right now. We're actually at my friend's farm. We're here in his shop. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be cutting some firewood. I've been saving my pennies and I'm wanting to get a wood burning stove sometime when I get enough money for it. But I want to make sure I got enough wood whenever I do get it. And my buddy, he's wanting some trees cut down, so we're going to come out here and cut them down for him. But thing we're going to be doing right now is kind of a little product review. Right here we got it's the LogOx is the company right here. They sent us this tool and they want us to try it out. Just a disclaimer, they did give it to us for free, but we're going to test it out and see how we like it. I'll tell you what I like about it and what I don't like about it. I'm not going to just tell you it's good if it's not, but I have seen this thing being used quite often, and that's one of the reasons why we really wanted to try it out, because I really feel like it will do a lot of help for me, and it's a pretty cool tool. Been using it a little bit, not as much, but today we're going to be using it a lot because it's really good for firewood, and if you got a sawmill, it's good for that too. But pretty much what it is right here, it's like 3 tools in one. So right here we got a little, pretty much you just pick a log up with it, and we'll demonstrate a lot of this later. It is very windy outside. That's why we're doing it in the shop. We may not do a whole lot of talking out there because it's very windy, but I will kind of try to show you everything this thing can do. But we got this thing right here. This pretty much, you just throw it over the log and it helps you pick up, and so you don't have to bend over as much. And it also comes with this little kind of holster. When you're not using it, you kind of set it here, so whenever you're splitting wood, you got it right here. When you're splitting it, when you're done, you can pick this up, pick up your log, and stick it on your wood splitter. We won't be splitting it today. I think we're just going to be cutting it up into rounds, but we just want to do a quick overview of pretty much everything here. So you got that, and then it's pretty cool how they set this thing up. You got this other piece right here that goes, there's a little hole and it slides in there, and you have this little pin, and that comes in and hooks into there, and now you have a cant hook. So you can, if you got to roll a log, if you're cutting it into rounds so you don't dig your saw down in, you can use that as the cant hook. That's the one tool. And if you're on the mill, you can use it as that. So I just put it on to make it a cant hook, and like I said, all these pieces just come with these pins. This is really good steel. This is very high quality. It's not cheap for sure. The company, it's USA, and I'm pretty sure they source all their metal from the US. We'll be leaving links down below, but we really like the company, and talking to everyone, seems like a very good company, American made, and that's what we like. Now I'm going to put on, and this is how easy it is. This right here, you keep this together, you just set it in here, you put these pins, and this will turn it into a timber jack. You just have this regular pin, you stick it in there. So now what it is a timber jack. And so depending on the size of your log, if you're able, and we'll show you this out there, but you grab it and then you pull it, and this will pull up, and that brings the log up off the ground. So whenever you're kind of bucking it and you're cutting them, you're not digging your saw in there, it's not pinching it, you don't have to use wedges. So that's kind of what that is for. And it's just really easy. It's just very simple to use, and very easy to put together. So the other tool, this is all the same stuff, is you got yourself a pickaroon. And it's really easy. It has this piece, and this is the handle that was previously on here. So you just get the pickaroon part, stick that in, get the pin that it comes with, and then you just put it on there. And now you got yourself a pickaroon where you're just, hitting it with, if you got a round to pick up, or if you're in the back of a, truck bed and you already kind of split some, you can pick them up. So that's the other tool that it can be. That's pretty much everything. with the tool wise. And I'll just say another thing is the bag. The bag's pretty cool, and this is how I know they're really attention to detail is pretty good. Is because the bag is a little bit larger than what all the equipment is. And this is what I had in the bag. I had all this, the gear that they gave me. I put some wedges, my sharpener, some PPE, you know, chaps and stuff, and it fits in there really good. And so the other thing is it all fits in there. It's not, you're not trying to cram stuff in there. It's not tight. It's made to put extra stuff in there. I know, especially like if you ever bought like a tent and it's all perfectly squared, as soon as you open that tent up, it's never going back in the same. So they definitely thought about people going to be working. And another thing with the straps, you literally just, the straps are big enough, you can throw it around your back and you're good to go. So if you're wanting to hike up into the woods, literally you just take the bag, put it on your back, grab your saw, and you got everything you're going to need to do to buck firewood or anything on your sawmill. So it's really good in that aspect. So we're going to get out there, let's cut some trees down and really put this thing to the test, and we'll talk about it later. Like this is actually, you're working out your, right there.
Yeah. What do you call that?
Well, I know if you want in like, what is it, an 8-pack, you do these.
I know like a 50, 60-year-old man, old Marine, has an 8-pack. Yeah, he's in better shape than most of us and mine. Look at that catfish out there, Abigail. That's what you should have done, Alex.
Film them catfish? I should have. I don't know what I was thinking.
All right, y'all, so we got done cutting all the wood. We got it stacked over here behind me, just in the rounds. We haven't split it yet, but kind of was just gonna say what I thought about the LogOx. I've used it a little bit, and I haven't used it a lot, but I'll give you kind of my first impressions of using it. Now, I'll say with these, so with this tool is like the hauler. You know, you kind of saw us, you know, just picking up these rounds and, you know, carrying them over. I really, and when I say really, I really like this tool. When you accompany it with this, the holder, you put it on your belt, I really like it. It doesn't make you where you have to like bend down as much, and you know, I got a bad back as well, so it really just, it makes it a lot more enjoyable moving the logs. And you know, you take your time just picking them up, moving them. Now, I haven't got to use it like with a splitter yet, and we'll continue to keep using these things, but just my first impression, I really like this part of the tool, the hauler. It's good. I just really like it. So another thing, before I get too far into it, what I really like about this company is everything is American made. It's 100% American made, and that is what probably the number one thing I like about all of this is it's American made, and I think that's what we should really be looking at, is buying stuff locally and American made right now. So that's one really big upside to this company. But the next tool here that I really like is the Picaroon. I've never used the Picaroon before, so this was kind of one of the first times using it, but I like it because it just pretty much extends your arm. You can pick up rounds with it. Now there is, probably a limitation on how big a round to pick up, but it's really good. When I was kind of moving the logs out of my truck, I could kind of just hit them, pull them to me. I don't have to jump up in my truck, get them. And I know when I'm splitting logs, if you're splitting ones like these, the smaller ones, I can kind of just pick them up from the ground, and I'm not having to bend up when I'm wanting to stack them. So I really like it about that. One thing I will say, this pin right here, now you have it, just like a regular cotter pin. The one thing I have seen is you probably want to push this all the way forward where it's kind of dangling like this, because one thing I saw when you have it, let me try to push it back. When it's like this, when that's normally how you do it, I did see I hit a log and I missed it. I hit this pin and it actually like popped out and went on the ground. I found it, but that's just something, if you do use this, it's best to push that pin all the way through so that doesn't happen. That was really the only thing I really saw, I guess you could say, and I wouldn't even say it's a con, it's just more of being cognizant of what you're doing and just pushing that pin all the way in, because if that thing falls out and you can't find it, you gotta get yourself another pin and things like that. So just remember, when you're using this, a Picaroon, or pretty much any of them, but especially this one, push that pin all the way in and you shouldn't have any issues of that popping out. All right, so the other tool, and I do have experience using a cant hook. We have some here for the sawmill. I really like the LogOx one. It's it's not as big, but it's definitely sturdy. And the one thing I really like about it is it really kind of bites into the log. It seems like with the ones that I've used before, it sometimes when you get it in there and you start pulling it, it sometimes just slides and it can be just kind of a pain using the other ones that I've used. With this one, it seems like once it's on there, I mean, it's staying on there and it bites real good and it holds it to where you're not going to be pushing and then it's going to slip. This thing really holds it good to where you can pull it. So I really like this part of it. So right here we got the timber jack, and when you're switching all these over, like you've seen before, it's really quick. It just takes a few seconds. Once you kind of figure out how it is, it doesn't take very long at all to switch them across. We got the timber jack here. Now this one, I'll say out of all the tools that we were using, this is the only one that I guess you could say I won't say not impressed with, but I guess when we were using them, this was one of the tools I was really kind of excited to use. But I think the one thing, and like I will say, I've never used one of these before. I've used it just that little bit, and the thing I learned with it is I don't think it does very good on hills. Now when we were using it, it was on hills, and so the problem was when we kind of we'd pull the log up, it would kind of want to fall over and do such things like that. I don't think it's necessarily the tool's fault. The environment that we were in, it was just kind of hilly, and some of the logs were a little bit smaller, so it maybe didn't bite as well. So I won't give it fault for that. But my first experience on it is pretty much that. We're gonna keep using it and everything. I think it's gonna be a very good tool. I just gotta get it in the right environment for it. But if y'all are gonna be using this, I'd just be kind of careful on hills. Not saying it won't work, but just you gotta make sure it's just right when you're pulling it, because sometimes it'll want to flop over on you, and if it's not the right size log. So that, I guess, is really the only I guess you could say bad thing that I experienced my first time using it. I don't want that to, you know, discourage you and, you know, get in the timberjack part of it. I'm not saying that. I'm just kind of giving you my thoughts on it. If you're really in a hilly area, you just may gotta, you know, see for yourself on using it. And I'm definitely going to be using all these tools a lot more. You'll see them in our videos, and I'll probably do another recap, you know, down the line on, you know, I definitely want to use this more and see exactly kind of more on flat ground, because it definitely, I think it's going to help a lot more so your bar's not going in the dirt and things like that. All right, so I'll just tell you my whole overview. What do I think of the LogOx and all the tools that I used here today? I would recommend them to anybody. The pickaroon, the hauler, just all of them. And like I said, I just got to use a little bit more on that timberjack, because I know that's going to really pay off a lot once I get it down and get the right logs and things like that. But I highly recommend it. I think it's worth the money. It's built very, very well. I really like how it's built. It's not some cheaply made, you know, foreign product. It seems to be very nice steel, good welds. I'm really glad they sent us one to use, because I'm gonna be cutting a lot of firewood probably this year, and especially the haulers. The thing that I really, really like is it just saves my back a lot, and it makes cutting firewood really, really easy. And you know, anyone that's kind of disabled or anything that still wants to do that, this is definitely a tool that's pretty good for you. But we'll leave the links down below if y'all are interested in getting, you know, some of these tools and, you know, this whole kit. But guys, if you really like our videos, hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and you hit that bell for notifications. That notifies you of new videos that we post, and you can be the first ones to watch. You got questions about the LogOx or anything else, put them down in the comments. But as always, take care and God bless.